Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with another Bethesda News Roundup video, where we break down all the most recent Bethesda news, rumors, and speculation. And in today's video I have a few exciting discoveries to talk about, because I just made a discovery that I believe is related to active testing right now for the Elder Scrolls 6. There are some leaked documents regarding the EU overlooking this potential Microsoft and Bethesda acquisition, and I have a couple other small but interesting things to talk about in today's video. But let's not waste any more time and get to today's information. And before I get to today's information, I want to make one real quick community announcement, and it has to do with the unfortunate news that we received yesterday as a community regarding the passing of Robert A. Altman, CEO and one of the founders of Zenimax and Bethesda. On some of my videos and on some of the discussions on social media like Twitter or whatever, where people are talking about Robert Altman, I've seen some pretty negative comments, and regardless of what is true and what isn't true, the truth is the guy just literally passed away yesterday, or at least in the last couple of days. I don't know the exact date, but it's been in the last couple of days at the latest. So let's give the situation a little bit to settle down before we try to pull out all the skeletons in the closets and unturn every single rock with any kind of negative thing you could bring up. I've seen some pretty dirty comments down in the description, and I'm someone who usually likes to bring you the information like just based upon the truth and literally what exists, regardless of any kind of like rhetorical opinions and stuff. But even regardless of me being that way, the truth is the guy just passed away. So let's leave any negative hate comments or crazy conspiracies or anything like that, whether they're true or not, like away from the comment section at least for a couple weeks, so people who try to let the situation settle, people who were close to Robert Altman can let the situation be a little less painful, because there's probably people who worked with him going around and watching videos like this and stuff and checking out the comment section. So let's actually respect those people at least, even if you don't want to respect Robert Altman for some reason, someone who just passed away. But either way, I just wanted to make that quick announcement before I get to today's information. And in order to break down the first thing in today's video, I have to activate Classes Mode. Then it has to do with a job posting for Bethesda Game Studios that was literally posted within the last 24 hours. So this is a brand new job posting, and as I've broken down in previous videos, and as people who are OG subscribers of my content, you'll know by now that I pretty much keep daily tabs on the active Bethesda Game Studios and just Bethesda and Zenimax job postings, and some of these are reposted over and over again for like months at a time because they need to hire a bunch of people, and some are brand new, and this one has not been reposted over and over again. This is a brand new job posting, and this is specifically for Bethesda Game Studios in Rockville, Maryland, the studio making Starfield and the Elder Scrolls 6. And real quick, job postings, like I say whenever I talk about these, they may not be as exciting as leaked images or gameplay footage, but they do have proven track records that have given us insight into what Bethesda Game Studios and other gaming companies have going down behind closed doors town. And I believe this job posting in particular has to do with the Elder Scrolls 6 because it has to do with management for QA, and specifically a development QA manager. And since it is for management, I believe that this particular job posting would have to do with the Elder Scrolls 6 more so than Starfield, because Starfield is going to come out this year, at least based upon a lot of what the community believes, including myself, along with what some other evidence suggests as well. And Starfield is probably in the testing phases, or at least the final testing phases right now. And in regards to hiring a manager for your game testing phase, I don't think like the later testing phases of a game would require additional management. I think a manager would do well, or at least a newly hired manager would do well on a project that's early on, and that kind of goes along with the wording in this job posting as well. And another thing before I break down the wording in this job posting is the previous QA job postings that I was breaking down in previous videos had to do with just temporary contract-based quality assurance testing, and I believe that was for Starfield because it was just a temporary position where you were hired on a short-term contract basis, which totally fits Starfield more than the Elder Scrolls 6. But I believe this job posting has to do with the Elder Scrolls 6 because you can see down here what it says in the description is Bethesda Game Studios is looking for an experienced development QA manager to join our team that is pushing the bleeding edge of RPG development for the PCs and consoles. The development QA manager will work across multiple projects with internal and external QA technicians to ensure and maintain a straight level of of quality across all our games, beginning early in the development cycle and continuing into long-running live operations. And you can see it says right here, keywords, beginning early in the development cycle and continuing into running live operations. And the way I infer that is basically that this position would infer making sure that the game was tested and that quality assurance was a main focus of the game development process from the very early stages of the game's development, and in this case, the very early stages of the Elder Scrolls 6's development. And then basically that job will continue on into when the game is actually released and new content is coming out and new patches need to be released. And I think this is huge because this shows us that apparently QA, game testing, and just a focus on quality assurance and making sure no bugs and stuff are going down is going to be a prime focus of Bethesda Game Studios in the very early development stages of what I believe to be the Elder Scrolls 6. And there is some speculation wrapped up into this breakdown of this job posting, but I believe it's safe to say that Bethesda is going to basically be testing their games pretty much the entirety of the game's life cycle from the very beginning of the development process, or at least when there is actual stuff to test in terms of like a game and not just code waiting to become a game, if you understand what I'm saying. And then the next thing I want to talk about in today's video is just a short thing that has to do with actually Zenimax Online Studios, because like I've been showing you, I've been finding a lot of job postings and stuff that has to do with their new next-gen MMORPG that's supposed to be this huge, exciting game that is confirmed to be in development, but we don't know anything about. But according to a job posting that was posted within the last few days for Zenimax Online Studios for an audio engineer, the focus isn't the job posting itself, because obviously they're going to be hiring audio engineers and stuff, but as you can see in the responsibilities here, the very first thing it says, they're going to implement audio systems and features from the ground up in their new engine. Meaning this is some of the first confirmed evidence that Zenimax Online Studios has a new engine for this game. However, if you kind of break down a next-gen MMORPG, just the terminology next-gen kind of signifies that there would have to be a new engine one way or another. But to me, it seems like this new engine is going to be a completely new engine from the ground up and maybe not using as much of the code from the engine that the Elder Scrolls Online uses. But this is more speculation than the actual Bethesda Game Studios job posting I broke down. But either way, I thought this is interesting because this is more confirmable evidence from Bethesda themselves that Zenimax Online Studios has a new engine for their future projects. The next thing I want to talk about in today's video is another job posting, but it's the last one I'm talking about in today's video, I promise. And it is a new job posting that was posted 2 days ago. And real quick, this is going to be another quick thing. This job posting, as you can see here, is for a senior monetization designer, and basically the description is, and again it's for Zenimax Online Studios, and basically the description is that Zenimax Online Studios is looking for a senior monetization designer to join the Elder Scrolls Online team, and basically you're going to be responsible for working with the development team to ensure that Zenimax Online Studios follows fair and effective monetization practice responsibilities. And I think that's interesting and kind of just low-key good that Bethesda is actually hiring someone whose sole purpose is to make sure that the community won't feel like they're being ripped off, and that Bethesda is doing right by the community in terms of monetization, because it seems like in terms of like online-only games like ESO, microtransactions, especially in regards to cosmetics, are going to definitely be in the game regardless of how you feel about monetization and stuff, or at least just like microtransactions. And I guess microtransactions don't bother me as long as it's cosmetics and not pay-to-win stuff, but it's just good to see that Bethesda is hiring people who just are going to pay attention to how their microtransactions and monetization system works, to make sure that the community isn't going to feel like they're being taken advantage of, and to make sure that Bethesda doesn't do anything shady, I guess. And the last thing I want to talk about in today's video is another quick thing, but you can see that documentation has leaked regarding the EU overlooking the case regarding Microsoft purchasing Bethesda, because like I've been talking about in previous videos, and like a lot of people in the community have been talking about, the EU is set to determine the fate of this purchase by March 5th, and that is huge because basically if the EU determines it's going to go through and that Microsoft's purchase of Bethesda and Zenimax is approved, then obviously the United States and every other government would approve it as well, because that's just kind of the precedent that would be set. Because if the EU can't find fault in this, I doubt anyone else would. It just kind of would not make sense and be consistent. But either way, you can see in the actual wording of this document, it does state that Zenimax and all of its subsidiaries will still maintain somewhat of an independent status, but will still be underneath Microsoft, meaning Zenimax will still exist and will still be above Bethesda Softworks, and Bethesda Softworks will still be above all the development studios like id Software, Bethesda Game Studios, Machine Games, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Studios. All those studios are still going to be underneath the same hierarchy as we've known them, only Microsoft will now be on top. And it's interesting that Microsoft is going to allow Zenimax to continue, because it would make sense for Zenimax to just kind of like be disbanded, or at least have all the Zenimax executives just represent Bethesda on a Microsoft level, because Zenimax is the publisher for Bethesda Softworks and all their studios, or at least the parent company and not the publisher. But Microsoft is the parent company now, so there's like two parent companies. Things are confusing. Welcome to corporations and stuff. But either way, that's everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. As always, if you enjoy the content, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn notifications on so you don't miss the latest uploads. And if you want to help grow the channel and the community, be sure to share the content, share the video, because the YouTube algorithm doesn't really help smaller channels like mine grow all that much, and the channel grows kind of slowly. However, since I've been asking you all to share the content, the channel has been growing a lot faster, so thank you very much for doing that. Keep doing what you're doing, it is greatly appreciated. And speaking of appreciation, huge shout out to these amazing people for going above and beyond to support the channel and bring you content like this. If you want to get a permanent future video shout out in every single one of my videos, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time. Down in the description as always, thank you for watching.
It just works.